Hi, I'm Leah Remillét, and last week I got an email from a photographer who was in tears. She was crying to her husband about the fact that trying to balance a business, carpool, kids, date nights, and everything else that we try to juggle is incredibly hard. And she lamented to her husband, saying, "How does Kelli France and Leah Remillét do it?" Well, luckily for me, one of my BFFs is Kelli France, so I called her up, read her the email, and Kelli said we've got to do a video and talk to her. So, Kelli, welcome.
Hey girl.
Hello. So, Kelli and I just want to talk to you today about, um,
How we do it all.
thank you. We help each other. That's how we do
We
it
fill
all.
in each other's sentences. That's how we roll.
Yes. Okay, so, Kelli, tell me, you have 4 kids, you do a ton. How are you doing it all? How are you making this happen?
Well, I've been thinking about this and I wanted to share probably the two most helpful things that have worked for me. And the first one I wanted to share is it starts with the word R or with the letter R because it's in my acronym, my Dearly acronym in my Bond organization boot camp that I'm super excited to announce. It's coming January 2013. So be on the lookout for that. But one of the things I share is to reevaluate your plate. You know, we only have 24 hours in a day. We all have the same size plate. It's not like Leah and I somehow got secret extra hours. And so really evaluating how you're filling your plate. And you can do that by creating a work from home schedule, you know, deciding what hours you actually have to work. And a lot of people forget to do this. They're just trying to cram it in between cartoons that their kids are watching or, you know. And so you really have to sit down and think, when am I going to work? Is it going to be during screen time, which is what I did when my kids were younger. I would have strategic screen time, and that's when I would, you know, have 1 hour to work. Or is it going to be during nap time, or is it going to be during bedtime? So you got to figure that out, and then fill it appropriately, because sometimes I hear people telling me all the things that are on their plate, and I'm like, dang girl, how are you surviving? And so, you know, just making sure that if you only have 10 hours in a week to work, that you're only taking on as many clients that you can do in 10 hours. So that has really helped me to kind of create and adjust my work from home schedule. It changes all the time because my life changes all the time. And then the second thing is, I think that in order to stay balanced, you have to have freakish focus. It's kind of like in yoga, when you're trying to stay balanced, you have to, you know, find a place on the carpet and just keep looking at it, stay focused there. And that's how I try to stay balanced. And one of the ways to do that, you know, because we get so overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, I have so many things to do. And so really just focusing on the things that you have to do today. So for me, I sit down and I have my little list. I call them little lists so that I don't get overwhelmed, because if you have like a page-long to-do list, I promise you will want to go cry in the closet and not do any of it. So if you have a little list, and I put mine on a Post-it note of maybe 5 things, because let's be realistic, that's probably all you're going to get done in one day, that you have to do that day. And if you just plow through it during those work hours that you've set, then you're going to accomplish a lot. So those are my 2 nuggets of wisdom for you.
I
What
like that.
I'm curious how you do it all.
Okay, so I just think that it's really important to understand that what we're trying to do is kind of crazy. We're all trying to run businesses and be good moms and be good wives and be volunteering in the classroom and at school, and there's just a lot we're trying to do. And so sometimes first, let's just give ourselves a little bit of a break and realize, like, we're trying to do a lot, and they're all good things. One motto that I love to live by is this wonderful talk I heard a while ago, and it's good, better, best. And the thing is, we're all filling our lives with good things. It's not like any of us have some stuff that we should, like, you know, push out because we're doing bad things, other than maybe some really crappy TV shows that some of us watch. Besides that, right? It's all good stuff that we're doing. But the thing is, even though it's all good, there's better stuff. And then there's the best stuff. And the best stuff is always going to be centered around your own family. So one of the things that's important for me to do is that I prioritize around my family schedule before I prioritize around my work schedule. So I don't plan my work schedule before my family. First, everything I want to do with my family is put into my monthly calendar, and then my work goals are set into that. And okay, perfect example would be, we're coming up on the holidays. I have some really big goals that I want to accomplish, but I had to scale those back for right now because with the holidays coming, my biggest focus is going to be around my kids and my family. So I scaled down my work goals and priorities to match what I wanted to do for my family. So finding that balance and recognizing, putting the best things first, and then the better, and then the good. And maybe that means you stop watching your crap TV shows, so that you have even more time. Like,
what?
It's like, what? No. I gotta find out what happens next. So, maybe that's what it means. So that's just prioritizing your work to be behind. And honestly, how many times, have we got caught in that guilt, that horrible guilt, because you feel crappy about working too much. Well, that's your heart trying to put you in check. One thing I've had to finally acknowledge and realize is that when I feel guilt, my heart is trying to get me in check and tell me you're not doing things right. And so when I refocus and I put my best in front and I get things back in order, then everything is better, because I am a better business owner when I'm being a great wife and a great mom. It's just the way it is. Yeah. So that's the first thing. The next thing is that same work hours thing. So scheduling in when you're going to get work time, but also scheduling when you're not going to work. Because here's what most of us do. Because our offices, I have a home office, because my office is sitting inside my house, I can sneak in here whenever I want to. And I sneak in way too often, right? You're just going to update Facebook real quick, or, you're going to check your email real quick. That suddenly sucks you in forever. Right. So I, between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., do not walk in my office. The door is closed. I don't open it, because that is my time with my family. Yeah, exactly. I don't get a key and toss it. That's my family time. I'm going to focus on my family during that time. And that makes, the bonus about doing this is it makes that my time when I do have to work, like you said, you might have an hour, because that's when your kids are in front of the TV for that show, It makes me realize to use that hour that much better. Because let's be totally honest. If you're going on a vacation, okay, if you're going somewhere amazing tomorrow, how much can you get done in one day? It's freaking amazing what you can accomplish, right?
So true.
Like, you can get through a list and it's just phenomenal. You don't let yourself get sidetracked. You don't let Pinterest suck you in.
Right. You stay focused, because you're like, dang, I got 24 hours.
The freakish focus. Kelly tells you about the freakish focus. You're able to keep that because you're like, I got this much time and this has to be done. There is no tomorrow when it comes to these tasks. Well, what could happen for your business's success if every time you sat down with 1 hour, you knew exactly what you were going to accomplish, exactly what you were going to focus on, and that was the only thing you were going to do, and you had that freakish focus that Kelly told you about? If you had that, how much can you get done with those 24 hours? And honestly, I mean, that's what I have to do. And I know that's what Kelly has to do. We sit down, and when we go to work, we got to work, because there are multiple children waiting for us outside the door when we're done. And we got to make dinner. And we both are, Kel and I talk all the time, our families are most important. Our husbands, we adore our husbands, and we love making time for them and having dates and all that kind of stuff. And the way to do that is to make sure that we have the freakish focus, that when we sit down to work, we are working on what is going to either save us time or make us more money. And in my program, The Thriving Photographer, that's what I constantly bring everything back to. If it's not going to make you more money, if it's not going to save you more time, then it is not our highest priority. So.
Right. And I just wanted to add, I remember a photographer asking me, how can you be photographer and a mom at the same time? And I thought that was an ironic question because you can't be a mom and a photographer at the same time, right? You don't have your kids at your session with you. And it's impossible to edit with a kid in the same room. They're like climbing on your back, you know? So,
So
if
true.
you think about it like wearing a hat, you gotta, okay, now I'm gonna wear my photographer hat. And then you lock the door when you're done, and your office door, and then you go wear your mom hat, and just trying to kind of really separate the two, because I think you get frazzled when you're trying to wear all the hats at the same time. So,
And it doesn't look very good. It's just,
no.
not very
You end up
fashionable.
looking and feeling ridiculous. So
It's so true. Hope you have enjoyed this. Kelly and I love every chance we get to hang out, even if it's through Skype and talk. And we're excited you got to be a part of this conversation today too. So thank you so much. You can learn more about either one of us. You can go to Chic Critique. Is it chiccritique.com or Chic Critique?
ChicCritiqueForum.com.
Okay, Chic Critique Forum. Sorry, it just pops right up on my thing. I don't even have to type anything anymore. It's on my those little boxes on, anyways, if you have a Mac, Okay.
Uh-huh.
And for me, you can go to goforprophotos.com or thethrivingphotographer.com. And in any of these websites you go to, we are there to inspire and help your journey. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Hide the changing table. I'm here.
You'll just be standing there looking pretty.
I'll be like, while you're talking.
Volumize.
I'll be foofing.
Yeah. Woof, woof, woof.
Okay.